Hey folks, this is Tracy with Scrappy's Rustics. We are going to redo this cutting board. I received this cutting board from Connie with Connie's Creations LLC. She has an Etsy shop. Check her out. She's got all kinds of adorable wood cutouts and it's a beautiful piece of wood. She does really great work. We're going to be using the Fruitful Harvest stamp by IOD. That can be found on our website at scrappysrustics.com. Unfortunately, they are discontinued, so we only have what we have. We are going to use Ranger medium in the color matte, or in the finish matte, and we're going to use some vintage music sheets that I picked up the book at a thrift store quite a few years ago. I want to use the whole sheet. We're going to cover the whole cutting board. I hated to really cover this cutting board because it's such a beautiful piece of wood, but it was the perfect size for this kind of project, so here we are. You can always use the back. So I'm using, again, it's Ranger matte. It's like a Mod Podge, similar to a Mod Podge. It's a little thicker. I just like it because it's super matte. I go back and forth between that brand and the Pentarp just because I really like the matte finish. So we just decoupage that down, and now we're just taking our Gator sand tool that was gifted to me. Apparently you can get them on Amazon, and you get a whole bunch of different Velcro sanding strips, which I love this thing. I never knew I needed it in my life. So we're just sanded the edges off so we got a nice clean finish. And now we're going to stamp it, and we're going to be using, like I said, this is the Fruitful Harvest stamp by IOD. And we're going to be putting a few different elements on. I just want to put a leaf and some spriggy little things on top. So you kind of have to think in advance of how you want your stamps, because we are going to be masking it. And what that means is basically you're going to cover one part of your stamp and stamp over it. It prevents your stamps from being doubled over. Like, it'll just look like a mess if you just stamp on top of one stamp. So I'm just trying to figure it out here, what I want to do. It took me a lot longer to figure this out, and I saved you the trouble of that and cut that part of the video out because I wanted a little leaf and a couple little spriggy things, but there was only a few little leaves to choose from, so I had to figure that out. So I just inked up our stamp. Look at this pumpkin, you guys. The details in this are unbelievable. This is a smaller pumpkin in this. It's a 2-sheet set. Comes with apples and acorns and all pumpkin ivy leaves and all kinds of stuff. And sorry about my camera, I'm a little off. I'm still trying to figure out this landscape business. I thought I was spot on. Clearly I'm not. I'm way over to the right. So I will work on that. I apologize. So there we have a mask. So 9 out of 10, well, all the new stamps come with masks. They're available for extra purchase for a couple bucks. If they don't have them, they just make it so you can basically build your stamps 3D without meshing them together. It makes such a big difference. The newer ones are tinted green, which is fantastic because they're so thin that they can easily get lost. I do have a video to show you how to prepare your stamps and your masks for first use. So here I have my mask on my pumpkin, so I want to place my little spriggy things in the leaf so it looks like it's sitting behind the pumpkin. So when you stamp, you want to, once you put it down, that's it, commit. Anchor it down and with one hand, and you want to rub every single inch of the stamp itself because the weight of it alone is not enough to transfer the image on your surface. And it's a little hard to see there. I can't believe I didn't hold it up for you. I probably would have held it up to the wrong side anyways. So I decided I just wanted those teeny little spriggy things to come up on the right of the pumpkin because it just needed something, and I didn't want it to be too much. I wanted to keep this piece simple. So I just inked a tiny bit of that ginormous stamp. I love that piece though. It looks so pretty on some of the things we've done in the past. It's just overall a great stamp. I'm really, really sad and shocked that they discontinued it. It has so much detail. I love it. So I showed it, but you couldn't see it, so I just cut it out. So now we're just making sure it's dry, and then we're gonna seal it. But then I remember I wanted to go around the outside, like I usually do for most of my projects. It just kind of softens it up. I go around the outsides of my pieces with the ink stamp pad, and just gives it a little more interest, and like I really just think it warms it up. I love this look. I'm not worried about the top because we're going to cover that with some jute and some little dried flowers. So this is Indian ink. It's IOD ink. It's Indian ink. It's permanent. So once it's dry, it won't smear. Be mindful if you have a cheaper like an ink that is not permanent and it's dry, it may smear when you go to put a sealer or something on it. It will reactivate it. So just keep that in mind. If you are going to invest in any inks, make sure it's a permanent ink. It'll be worth your benefit for the extra buck or two in the end. So I picked up these strands of beads at Hobby Lobby. We got some jute, and then those dried flowers, there I am off the camera again, are from the his and hers section at Hobby Lobby. I had already had them tied together. Or no, actually they came tied together in twigs like that. So where my music sheet met the top, it was kind of on a curve, so I couldn't just put the jute on and wrap it. It was too rounded. So I had to glue the very first several layers just to get it so it was straight and would stay on that line. Otherwise it would have rolled itself up. It took a little time, but I think it was worth it because it looks nice and neat and it looks nice and straight. I'm kind of picky about my glue. I don't like to see a project with big glue blobs hanging out everywhere, so I was mindful of using just a sparing amount of glue. Kind of looks like I'm putting a lot on there, but I promise you I'm not. So once I got to the part where I didn't need to do that anymore, I went ahead and wrapped it up as far as I thought I needed it and just glued it on the back to secure it. And then I thought, if I don't keep this and it goes in auction, what if they want to change out the little dried flowers? I didn't want to commit and put a big glue glob. I guess I got a thing with glue. I don't know. I didn't want to put a big glue glob when attaching it, so I did a little trick. So I'm just wrapping some more jute around the little wire bread tie like thing that's holding all these little dried flowers together just to cover it up. It wasn't so good looking. I love these little dried flowers. So ultimately just wrap this jute super tight and it's just suspended in there. It's not moving. It's not going anywhere. And that way, if somebody does, end up with it and I don't keep it, they can just slide that out and slide something else in there, and they can just cut the jute and put something else in there. I mean, it would be easy as changing that for whatever holiday. So I just tied it real tight, put a little drop of glue in there just to hold it secure. And if there was another person standing there could have hold the string for me, that would have been great. But there wasn't, so I improvised. This is so simple and so cute. Now these beads come in a long strand, kind of like ribbon. It's a little tricky because as you go, you kind of have to take some beads off so you can get some string there to work with. So I just put a little glue there so when I cut it, all the beads didn't come flying off the string. I had a little string on the other end from the last time I used it, so all I really do is put this in here, tie it, and glue it to secure it. I think it's just a perfect finish for this little project. I love it. It's all natural. I love everything about it. Be sure to visit our website at scrappysrustics.com. We got all kinds of great goodies. If you enjoyed this video and it inspired you, please like, share, and comment. To see more, follow me both on Facebook and YouTube, and be sure to hit the notification on both so you know when new videos are uploaded. We got all kinds of inspiring things out there that we want to share with you and inspire you with. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have an amazing day, night, whatever it may be. Thank you.